this wind. The wind. This wind. It's nonstop. There's no source of the wind. There's just tons of wind. Full force wind from. There's no source of it. It's just invisible. Tons of wind. So in my dream, I was dreaming about roosters, and I was thinking about how roosters do their little cock-a-doodle-doo in the morning. I was like, well, so do they do the at the same time every day? Meaning, let's just say 5:35 a.m. every day at the same exact time, or does it vary with the sun's cycle throughout the course of a year? Which then in my dream had me think of the analemma cycle, and then wondering how the rooster thinks about the analemma sun cycle. Real quick, if you don't know the analemma, so the sun travels, if you take a photograph of the sun at the same time of day every single day for a year, it creates a figure 8 infinity symbol. And then you realize where the ancients came up with the concept for infinity, and then you wonder what it must have been like for them to see the circuit every single year, year after year after year, the same pattern. But then you wonder, once you accept the analemma and accept that they've calculated that, and then you wonder what impact that has on us, because obviously the sun doesn't come up and set at the same time of day. Every day is different, and as that cycle goes through, how does it burn something into the earth? Although I guess it wouldn't, because every day it kind of moves just a little bit. But you almost wonder, like, why isn't that pattern burned into the sky? And then you wonder, you start to look at the sky and you're like, all right, some days it's blue. We're actually more at nighttime. Nighttime, you'll notice that the sky isn't always black at night. Sometimes the sky is totally black. Well, tonight the sky is blue. It's a blue sky tonight. Nighttime, but the sky's not black. The sky is blue tonight. And man, oh my gosh, I gotta get my telescope out. Look at these things. Look at that pattern. Can you see stars? But sometimes the sky is blue at night and there's no stars. And you're like, who forgot to turn on the stars? And then some nights it's like gray. And so, having varying nights, you're just like, what's going on here? And then you wonder, you see the holodeck and all the different hologram illusions they could create. You wonder if there's a whole other thing going on in the sky, and we're just shown like this blue sky during the day and a black sky at night. But regardless, these are the thoughts going on during the dream. I'm thinking of that cycle. I'm thinking of how the rooster connects to that cycle. I'm thinking about, you hear about the circadian rhythm, and you're wondering, all right, so is the circadian rhythm just a routine that your body gets into of going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time? But then you're like, all right, well, how does that work? How does your body know about this clock? I wonder if the circadian rhythm, it sounds like a circuit. So is the circadian rhythm related to the analemma? In this dream, I got the roosters. I had this dream like 3 weeks ago, so I already forgot most of it. I'm trying to remember from my notes what was going on. So it was the roosters waking up at different times of day. And then I woke up and I found out why the roosters make the noise in the morning, is to let everybody know, like, hey, the coast is clear, you guys could come out. And then just wondering how the analemma, if it impacts us, if that sun position impacts us, and how that cycle impacts us, and if that cycle, it seems the Earth doesn't go on the same annual cycle. I mean, obviously, it's not even a 365-day year or cycle completion. It's 365.25, and that's why we have the leap year. But the weather patterns, although seasons seem to go in the same pattern, I wonder if it, like, I'm trying to think, like, not a record just does the same thing. But actually, yeah, you know how you could start with a small thing and then it gets larger and then it gets larger and then it gets larger and then it gets smaller and smaller and smaller back to the middle, and then back. You wonder what causes that? The official reason is that the Earth is tilted on its axis while it revolves around the sun. I don't buy that answer, but you wonder what is causing that cycle. And then I have notes on here that say temperature and light. One of the questions I had a long time ago, and I never really conducted a study on it, but I wondered if facing north, south, east, or west affects sleep patterns. But even though we know that north, south, east, and west isn't really a thing, but it is a thing, the analemma is a thing, it must have some kind of impact other than, you know, creating seasons and whatnot. But anyway, that was the dream. I don't remember. There was an interconnection that it's faded me now that it's been 3 weeks. But that rooster, the analemma, the circadian sleep cycles, and then something getting burned into us from that cycle. It's fled me. I should have done this the day I had the dream. And my notes here say temperature and light. Don't remember what those notes mean anymore. All right, so I had another dream, and it was the dream like right before I woke up that I was having, and it was about the New World odor. Not order, but odor. The New World odor. And it was this new odor, this new fragrance that was in the air. And it was about how scent can be used to reprogram humans. So according to my notes here, I was reading an article in my dream, and it was called The New World Odor, and that scents can be used to reprogram humans. And it proposed the question in the article, and it's an amazing question that never even crossed my mind. It asked, what is a scent? You know, what is a scent? What is a scent? What is a scent? What makes a scent? Is it bacteria? I mean, is perfume bacteria? Is cologne bacteria? I mean, you know, the nasty smell in your mouth, I guess, is caused by bacteria, but what is a scent? What is an aroma? It's a gas? Is it a gas? But not all things are a gas. You could, you know, like, smell something and you're like, So there's like, kind of like, there's boogers and there's snot. Well, there's like gases, like a fart. There's like a fart smell, a gas, but then there's also like something has a scent. Everything has a scent, even if it doesn't have a scent. Like a rock. You ever pick up a rock? Even rocks have scents. Sand has a scent. So everything has a scent. But what the heck is a scent? I know there's an answer. There's got to be an answer. There's an answer for everything. But what is a scent? What's a smell? Is there a difference between a smell and a scent? Ponder it though. It sounds just like a dumb question. But what is a scent? And how does everything have a scent? Like, we know things have a scratch value. You know, so different, like, diamonds scratch things, and some things can scratch other things, and chalks, and that's why you could write chalk on the sidewalk. But that's what the dream had me think of, is, you know, what is a scent, and could you reprogram a person's mind with scents? Obviously, somewhere deep in my subconscious, I must have been thinking about the Black Widow movie, even though I never think about that movie. But in Black Widow, that syndicate of all the mind-controlled killer soldiers, the girls, they were all controlled by pheromones. And I guess pheromones are scents that go undetected by your nose? I don't know. Anyway, the New World odor. The New World odor. Mind control people with scents and aromas. Now, obviously, some scents can kill you. And some things that you can't smell can also kill you. Anyway, that was the dream. Let me see. The New World odor, I had a dream I just woke up from. I was reading an article called The New World Odor, and it was about how scents can be used to reprogram humans. It wasn't mind control, it was reprogram. And it even proposed the question, what is scent? Yeah. And by the way, let me just make this statement. My dreams are just funny dreams. And the reason I report on them is not so much to say, oh, these are like prophetic, you know, I'm a sightseer into the future. No. Whenever I report on dreams, it's for the amusement of how the heck did my brain come up with this crap? because most of the time they're things that I don't even think about in my waking life, and even in ways that I don't even think. Like these dreams that I just had here, these do seem part of my personality, but every now and then I'll have a dream where I'm like, that's not even my personality. That's not even how I think. That's not even the kind of plot that I like to watch in a TV show. And I wonder how my brain created it, or my conscience, or where do the dreams happen? Do they happen in the brain? Do they happen in the akasha? Where do they happen? What the heck is a dream? And why do we need to sleep? I think we're in good shape. Those balloons could do whatever they want to do. And another thing, I woke up this morning and the first video that came on my feed was Candace Owens talking about Project Bluebeam. And I was just like, Johnny boy. It was like such a reward for all the years I spent doing conspiracy. And I went on Twitter, and apparently Project Bluebeam was trending on Twitter, which was amazing to me. I mean, we've been prior to the Great Awakening of 2020. It was kind of a small space with conspiracy. At least that's the way I understand it. So ask for specificity. Make sure you always ask for specificity no matter what it is. So the next time you hear somebody say, oh yeah, that happened because we failed to address climate change. What does addressing climate change actually mean? Does it just mean you address it by saying, we're going to address climate change? I'm addressing climate change. Is that addressing climate change? Or is it something else? What does it mean when they say they failed to address climate change? What does that really mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? It's so vague. Oh, yeah, you're not addressing, we're failing to address. That happened because we failed to address climate change. So what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean?